stock in the NASDAQ. Holy shit, did you hear that? That was thunder. Holy. Tesla's Q2 earnings report is due in just 2 trading days, and we have the latest developments for Tesla stock here today, not to mention a very big catalyst coming today, potentially in after hours for Tesla that nobody is really talking about. But a lot of people are positioning hedge funds and institutions in bullish options for Tesla, so I think you should know about it. Now, on top of that, we have some earnings estimates from Gary Black coming out, as well as new signs that Tesla is going to be on earnings. Not to mention India and a new plant that is being more rumored than ever to be coming in the near term. Let's go ahead and get into all of these developing stories. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel because, one, it's free 99, but also if you want to stay up to date with all of this information every single time a new video is posted, in hopes that it helps you make money, at the very least stay informed on what is happening currently with Tesla stock and the broad markets. Elon Musk said on Friday that an update is coming soon to fix user complaints about a steering wheel nag while under full self-driving mode. The steering wheel nag is a prompt that reminds users to apply pressure on the steering wheel when autopilot or FSD beta is enabled. If the driver does not heed the visual prompts on the touchscreen, it escalates into a beeping noise. The cabin camera, meanwhile, determines the driver's attentiveness and provides audible alerts to revert the driver's attention to the road. So this is basically a malfunctioning sensor that should not be going off when it's going off. And it's kind of like one of those situations where you start to panic, like, what am I doing wrong? When in reality, you're doing nothing wrong and the vehicle is acting as it should be. On to the next bit of news, and this is very exciting for Q2 earnings that will be released in 2 more trading days. Tesla Shanghai factory workers welcome bonus increase after record deliveries. Now, Wall Street looked at this today and sold off Tesla stock initially. And I think this is really a good sign for Q2 earnings, but specifically for Q2 margins. Tesla cut bonuses last quarter around, and we've seen what the earnings look like. Well, if they're reinstating a lot of these bonuses and actually making them larger, that is a very positive sign that Tesla is going to have good earnings. Now, I made a trade on Tesla's earnings. If you guys want to come see that trade, as well as come trade with me every time I make a trade, if you so choose to, link down below in the description of this video. That is not a texting alert kind of thing. That is somewhere that you can actually come ask me questions. We can conversate about different topics, whether it's the broad markets, whether it's Tesla, whether it's where I think Tesla's going or where you think Tesla's going from here. If that sounds interesting to you, link down below in the description of this video. Nonetheless, let's get into exactly what this bonus package is looking like. Several workers at Tesla's Shanghai plant, its biggest manufacturing hub globally by output, said they have been awarded a large increase in their latest quarterly performance bonuses. 3 workers told Reuters that they had received bonuses of 1.5 times of monthly base salary for the second quarter. This was higher than the quarterly bonuses 1.2 times the monthly salary that the majority of workers used to receive for average performance, the workers said. The workers said several of their colleagues had received similar size bonus increases, but Reuters was unable to establish how many had been awarded a bonus hike. The plant, which makes Model 3 and Model Ys, employs around 20,000 workers. One of the workers said that his performance bonus had doubled this month on the first quarter, when it was cut to 0.78 times the monthly salary. The workers said they were not given a reason for why their bonuses had increased and if it was related to the previous complaints, but the move comes after Tesla delivered 247,000 units of China-made electric vehicles in the second quarter, the highest level since its Shanghai plant opened. Again, Wall Street seen this as somewhat negative in early market trading today. I look at this and say, if Tesla is giving out bonuses, that are so much larger than what they have seen in the past, well, this has to mean Tesla is going to give us really good earnings and likely some really good margin numbers. And that's why Analyst and myself don't agree on a vast majority of things when it has to do with Tesla. This can only mean good things for Tesla's earnings. I'm sure you'll hear later on today and in after hours that this is negative. This is bad. Don't be fooled. Tesla stock is also breaking above its longer-term downtrending line. This is a line connecting the peaks that we have seen of Tesla's rallies in the past, and you're finally breaking above this today. This has been a level of severe resistance for us, and it's around $280 per share. As long as we can hold this level into the close, I think we're in for higher prices to come, especially after Tesla's earnings. Now, there's a very big catalyst coming today in after hours, and I think it's no accident. Elon Musk is hosting a Twitter space today at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, why I think this is no accident is the timing of this Twitter space. A lot of the time in the past, if he hosted one of these events that had nothing to do with Tesla or any of his, companies specifically, especially Tesla, the one that's public, you would see these scheduled at noon, 1, or 2 p.m. This one is specifically at 4 p.m., and that's because it's probably going to have some pretty big implications for Tesla's business, but specifically for full self-driving. As I have mentioned in videos previously, this XAI company, if it creates what we're expecting, and that is a language model, a LLM, well, that could enhance full self-driving and make it level 4, level 5 pretty instantaneously. This introduction of XAI and this new company from Elon is less than 1 week after Elon boldly predicts that FSD will offer level 4 or level 5 autonomous driving this year. Now, Elon has said this many times in the past, that they're close to figuring out full self-driving, close to working out all of the bugs. But I think this is a little too coincidental to be happening right now. And why I think a large language model could enhance Tesla's full self-driving and take it to a level 4 or level 5 capability is what I've said before on this channel. Like that ride along that you've seen with Ross Gerber and Dan O'Dowd, famous full self-driving Ultra Bear, thinks it should be eradicated. Well, if you incorporated something such as GPS that knows everything, knows when a traffic light is red, it knows if there's an accident down the road, it knows where stop signs are and weird signs, it knows the speed limit, all of these things that Tesla has to try to figure out using cameras, right? This camera system Teslas have. Well, what if you could relay something like a GPS data to a Tesla in real time and have the car understand that? You're not going to blow through that weird stop sign. You're not going to blow through a red light that has a yellow tint. That's not going to happen anymore. That's the problem that you're really seeing with Tesla. Or it's not going to veer off into a just lane that veers off that doesn't really go anywhere, like a runaway truck ramp in the mountains. That's not going to happen because there's no way to get to your final destination. All of this can be enhanced greatly with Elon's new XAI company, and I expect some kind of announcement coming here today in after hours on this Twitter space call. Obviously, this is only connecting the dots and speculation on my part, but I think it's very reasonable speculation. And if there's any new information that is released on this Twitter space call, we will bring you the latest later on today. In other news, BYD, Tesla's only real competitor in China, says that their first half of the year profits could rise as much as 225.4% to $1.64 billion. I want to highlight this because everyone's so negative on Tesla's margins. Well, BYD is forecasting some impressive growth here, and I think Tesla will be along the same lines. Not to mention, let's highlight $1.64 billion for the first 6 months of the year. Tesla made more than that for the first quarter of the year. Tesla, although they compete with BYD in China, there is still no competition on a pure profit basis with Tesla or any other automaker. We also have new reports suggesting Tesla is setting up a new production plant in India. The company will reportedly aim to produce 500,000 vehicles a year in India. Lawmakers are also pressuring the EPA to institute a new rule that would help boost electric vehicle sales throughout the next decade. Elon Musk also held talks with the Malaysian Prime Minister about a possible investment from Tesla. This was an over 25-minute long virtual video conference. After that conference, the Malaysia Prime Minister said, quote, "I welcome the company's interest and investment decisions in Malaysia, and also Elon Musk's willingness to come to Malaysia," he said in a statement. In March, Malaysia approved Tesla's request to import battery-run electric vehicles into the country. Quote, "Malaysia will continue to strengthen its commitment to net zero carbon emissions or net zero emissions as early as 2050. According to sources out of India, Tesla is negotiating with the Indian government to construct a car factory with an annual capacity of up to 500,000 EVs. There was no word about the specific models planned to be produced in India. Still, the newspaper sources suggest it will be an affordable EV with a starting price of $24,000. Your mass market EV looks to be on the near-term horizon. In other news, Tesla will start selling its Chinese-made Model Y in Korea for $44,000. The rear-wheel drive model is priced at $44,000, according to Tesla Korea's official website. With government subsidies, that drops to about $37,000. In Seoul, as low as $30,000 in some cities that offer extra incentives for EVs. About 6.2% of cars in Korea in 2022 were clean vehicles, which includes battery-powered hybrid and hydrogen vehicles, according to the government figures. Sales of clean cars jumped 37.2% last year from the year before, with EVs accounting for almost 34% of the total. So nonetheless, Korea is a high-growth market for EVs. Gary Black, longtime Tesla bullish analyst, predicts 6% beat on Q2 EPS, but tells investors to focus on 4 more important things. Gary Black, co-founder and managing partner of Future Fund, predicts that Tesla's adjusted earnings per share for the second quarter will be around 87 cents. This figure is higher than the previous quarter's 85 cents and the year ago's quarter of 76 cents. The consensus estimate stands at 82%. Black's estimates are based on the following assumptions: auto gross margins, excluding regulatory credits, of 18% compared to 19% in the first quarter and 26.2% in the same period last year. The Wall Street forecast is 18.2%. Regulatory credits of $340 million, down $521 million in the first quarter. Auto average selling price, excluding regulatory credits, of $45,000, a decrease from $46,000 in the first quarter and $56,000 in the year-ago quarter. According to Black, management commentary on several key aspects will be more important than the adjusted earnings per share. These include the fiscal year 2023 delivery guidance, the trajectory of the auto gross margins, excluding credits, the timing of the first Cybertruck deliveries, and the recognition of deferred revenue from full self-driving. The Wall Street estimate predicts Tesla's revenue to be $24.57 billion, marking a 45.10% increase from the $16.93 billion reported a year ago and a 5.3% increase from the previous quarter's $23.33 billion. All of this good news is causing Tesla stock to break out today at the time of recording this video at about $283 per share, just $1.25 off of its high of this cycle. And there's a lot of things that are supporting a potential short squeeze is actually starting today and could head up until earnings. Now, if it's not starting today, and we're just seeing a pretty big rally on some data that suggests maybe shorts are covering a little bit, well, that could explode coming after earnings. And what we're seeing with the option activity today is suggestive of a lot of bullish positioning in Tesla. From hedge funds and institutions today, you have seen 669 orders totaling $242.71 million with a positive order value of 63%. And if we take a look at the bubble chart here today, it's clear you're seeing a lot of activity at some of these calls that are out of the money. Now, the 280 call is seeing volume today of 238,000 contracts trading hands. The 285 call is seeing volume of 142,000. And the 280-250 call is seeing volume of 137,000. Very much indicative of these bullish calls. This bullish positioning is definitely very active today. In regards to a potential short squeeze, as a lot of you guys should know if you're followers of this channel, Tesla is currently seeing the highest amount of shares that are sold short in over 2 years now. And what a lot of you guys also know is that these short positions were taken out on average around $120 to $150 per share. So short sellers are massively down on their short positions when at the time of recording this video, Tesla stock is at $283.25. Short sellers are down over $15 billion based on their bearish bets. The dollar amount that is currently sold short in Tesla stock is $26.63 billion, currently hitting a new high of this cycle. That is because even though we're not quite at the highest price that we have seen during this cycle, short sellers were shorting Tesla stock during this slight drawdown that we have recently seen. And now on this upside move, short sellers are losing even more money. In the past 3 months, short sellers are down over 64%. In the last 6 months, short sellers are down about 158%. Keep in mind, when you short a stock, your loss is unlimited. So it's different than buying a stock where you can only lose 100%. Short sellers down 158%. That's possible if you short the stock at $120 and now Tesla is $100 or $283. You can lose more than 100% shorting a stock. And that's exactly what it looks like shorts are doing right now. They're continuing to lose money. They're continuing to short Tesla. And after earnings, I think that is going to be the final blow to the short sellers that could send Tesla stock to the next level, likely above $350 per share. Option activity expiring next week is very strong on the call side as well, but this goes a little bit further out the money as people are betting that Tesla is going to rally after earnings. The 280 call is seeing volume today of 30,000 versus the open interest of 14,000. Anytime you see volume higher than open interest, that is a sign that people are betting very bullishly. The $300 call is seeing volume today of 30,000. The 350 call seeing volume today of 7,600. And the 375 call is seeing volume today of 10,000 versus open interest of 5,000. These are very bullish bets on Tesla. And the IV, the implied volatility, the premium that you're paying for these options is very high. It's very expensive to play Tesla's options. So if you're playing Tesla's options betting on earnings, you better have a lot of conviction or you stand to lose a lot of money. If you don't understand how impactful a gamma squeeze can be and how a gamma squeeze works in conjunction with a short squeeze, let me give you a brief summary. So for an example, if you were betting that Tesla was going to go higher, and let's say you bought a $300 call expiring July 21st, well, if you're right and Tesla stock does rally, you're going to make a lot of money on that option. Well, somebody's got to lose for you to make money, and the potential loss could be massive. So market makers, they end up taking the back end of your trades 90 to 95% of the time, because there's not a hedge fund, institution, or retail investor that wants to take on that kind of risk. Now, for every one option, that controls 100 shares. When you're buying a call, you're saying, hey, I have the right to buy 100 shares at $300 per share. So what the market makers have to go out and do is buy shares of Tesla under $300 per share to be able to sell you 100 shares at $300 per share and to actually make a profit on that. And that takes a lot of capital. Now, let's say you're trying to buy 100 options of Tesla. Well, now the market makers would have to buy 100 shares times 100 options. You're looking at millions and millions of dollars. Now consider this. For July 21st, there is currently 37,000 of those $300 calls held in people's brokerage accounts. So that would be 37,000 times 100 for the amount of shares market makers would have to hedge out if Tesla stock goes close to or over $300 per share. That would be 3.7 million shares market makers would have to go out and buy just for the $300 strike. Not to mention the 280, 285, 290, 295 strike, or if Tesla rallies higher than 300, in which I expect after earnings, and then you're talking even more, and this number grows quickly, especially if Tesla beats on earnings, as I expect they will. All in all, the dollar amount just for the $300 call expiring July 21st would be $1.05 billion that market makers would have to buy worth of Tesla stock. Again, multiply this along the entire option chain, and you potentially could see a massive rally in Tesla, well above 300, well above 350, potentially all-time highs. That's how powerful a gamma squeeze can be in conjunction with a short squeeze when you currently have 96.5 million shares worth of Tesla that is currently sold short. All-time highs don't look too unreasonable. Speaking of all-time highs, Tesla is breaking out to a new high of this cycle as we are currently filming this video. Tesla stock has hit a high of $285.30 per share, as I expected they would. Now, pay attention to the RSI. The RSI is not even oversold yet. Oversold is over 70. Tesla's RSI is 69.26. So you have a lot of room to rally from here before you are overbought on the RSI, before the RSI becomes this big problem and reason why Tesla stock needs to fall. This is much different than what we've seen back here when Tesla stock hit a high of $275 per share and the RSI was at 90 and Tesla was the most overbought stock in the NASDAQ. Holy shit, did you hear that? That was thunder. Holy shit. That thunder was seriously the loudest thunder I have ever heard in my entire life. That scared the crap out of me. But nonetheless, the conclusion to all of this is a gamma squeeze as well as a short squeeze looks likely, especially after today's move in Tesla hitting that new high of this cycle. If we get positive news today from the XAI Twitter conference that Elon is going to be holding at 4 p.m., that could certainly send Tesla stock up dramatically, as well as earnings. Clear signs, as we have went over here in this video, that Tesla will be on earnings, and that is going to send Tesla stock up a lot higher. And I almost feel bad for the shorts, but really, you shouldn't be this uneducated about Tesla. You deserve the fate that you were about to get. if you are that uneducated, especially for the analyst. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this video. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. If you guys want to come trade with us live in real time, every time I make a trade, come conversate with me, ask me questions, I'll ask you questions, all of that good stuff. Link down below in the description of this video. Check out the link for merch if you guys want to rock your Tesla gear wherever you go. Hopefully teach someone about the ways of Tesla and what a great company and investment this will ultimately be in the long term. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. No guarantees anything can happen in this crazy world. But I think that's the obvious foregone conclusion if you are a viewer of this channel. On top of that, get yourself some free stock with Webull. Sign up, deposit $1, get yourself 15 free stocks. It's almost free 99 to do so take advantage of that while it does last if you have not signed up for Webull already. Nonetheless, you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.